Hello, and welcome to Wireframe Rate. Today we're going to cover the basic configuration and use of the WebFrame Kiosk app. To begin, go to the App Store and search for WebFrame. If you have not already purchased WebFrame, purchase now and install. As you can see, I have already installed WebFrame. At this point, you could run WebFrame and it will be configured to generic default settings. But let's jump in and customize the settings for an example company. For this video, I will be using a real company, a favorite bike shop of mine in Melbourne. The first thing we're going to do is open up the iOS Settings app. In the left pane, scroll down until you see the settings for installed applications. Continue scrolling until you find WebFrame. The first thing we're going to customize is the home page. We can do this by tapping the text in the URL field. While HTTPS is recommended, for this demo we are going to use HTTP. The allowed domains list will allow us to use an existing website for a kiosk while blocking any attempts to navigate away from a list of predefined domains. For example, your website may contain links to social networks such as Instagram or Twitter, links to Google, or other external resources that you would normally want to limit on a kiosk. For our demo, I'm going to leave the domain limit enabled, but add the domain for our demo. The format for the allowed domains list is a comma-separated string containing the domain name and extension or top-level domain. The inactivity timer will monitor use of the device, and if it has not been used for a specified amount of time, WebFrame will reload the home page. This will ensure that customers using the kiosk always start with the experience you have configured instead of wherever a previous user has left off. For this demo, we're going to select 1 minute. If your website or web app preserves session or allows users to enter their own information, then we recommend leaving Clear Cache on Reload enabled. This will delete any cookies or session information when the inactivity timer reloads the home page. Finally, user interface settings allow you to customize how your users will interact with your kiosk. If you are configuring a digital information display, then you may want to disable all user interaction. If your kiosk is interactive, but you want to ensure customers use your in-site navigation rather than swipe gestures for back, forward, or refresh, you can disable those gestures. If you want your kiosk to have a full web browser experience, then leave all three enabled. Now that we have all options configured, we can exit and open WebFrame. As you can see, the Bike Gallery website makes a beautiful kiosk with a large image carousel and clear navigation. As I tap on links, I can navigate through the site. Imagine that as a customer, I scroll through the site and find a particular product. An in-store sales rep may help me find the product in the store, so I walk away from the kiosk. At this point, the inactivity timer will detect that no user interaction has taken place and start the timer. As the timer expires, it will reload the home page. For the purposes of the video, we're going to fast forward this a bit. As we near the end of the timeout period, the inactivity timer will detect that no user interaction has taken place and will reload the home page that we configured in settings. As you may have noticed, the website has social links on the page. However, we may not want customers to have unfettered access to Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram. This is where the allowed domains list comes into effect. If I try to tap one of the links, you'll notice that the site is blocked because the domain is prohibited. If I do want to allow access to one of these sites, I can go into Settings and add that domain to my allowed domains list. Now, as I return to WebFrame and reload the home page, I'll give it another try. Now you can see, with Twitter being in the allowed domains list, I can access the site. Earlier I noted that the Bike Gallery site had great in-site navigation. Because of that, I may want to disable swipe gestures in the app. Now as I navigate around the site, I can no longer swipe backward or forward, and must instead use the site's navigation. While this site isn't a perfect example, I may want to use it as an information display, simply displaying the carousel of images. In this case, I can turn off all user interaction, and then relaunch WebFrame. It may not be perfectly clear in the video, but as I try and tap and swipe around the site, nothing is happening, making this purely an information display and not an interactive kiosk. This has been a quick overview of the WebFrame Kiosk and its configuration and use. Stay tuned to wireframerate.com for other videos and tutorials covering advanced topics like looping YouTube videos, PDF files, and more. Thank you.